Hey everybody, greetings, welcome to MSOM 612, your final course for many of you in the master's degree program. Yay! Really pleased for you and excited for you on this accomplishment. All of the people who are in this class I had at one point or another earlier on in the program, so I am just really looking forward to seeing the progress that you've made over the last few weeks and months and few courses. I want to talk a little bit about this this particular class. Many of your fellow classmates have concentrations, and for those of you taking this course, you haven't had a concentration, and that's fine. I am just thrilled to teach even smaller classes. So this is going to be a smaller class. The reason that I like to teach smaller classes is I get to be involved in them. So I'm going to be in the discussion boards with you. I will be chatting you up on a lot, probably more frequency. And so I look forward to that. I look forward to that connection. I'm doing something new, probably since you had me in 601 or 602. I am doing a lot of traveling, and what I've done over the last, 3 or 4 subterms now, is I'm doing these videos. I don't know if you remember or not, but I used to have at the end or beginning of a particular lesson, I would have my thoughts, or lesson recap, my thoughts. But what I'm doing now, rather than typing those in, I'm doing them by video. And I'm doing them by video simply because I have been a travel junkie this year. I have been all over the world in many different locations. And today I'm coming to you from Singapore. And Singapore is actually a city and a country, both combined. And it's an absolutely stunning city. One of the prettiest cities I think I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a few of them in the world. The building behind me is actually the Sands Casino. It's 3 buildings that's holding up a big surfboard, is what it looks like. One of the most creative architectural buildings I think I've seen. But Singapore is a lovely, lovely place. I was going through here. I'm at a place called Gardens by the Bay, and what they've done is they've created an environment here, because the city is one of the most densely populated in the world, where they've dedicated a certain amount of landmass for trees, and so one of the interesting things they have here, since it's such a small country, city, they only produce about 4% of their available food. They have to import everything else. And so what they've created are these skyscrapers that are hydroponic skyscrapers, where they have plants and greenhouses and other types of things in them. And their goal is to end up producing 25 to 30 to 40% of their food consumption here in those types of facilities. Really unique. I was in one yesterday. Very, very clever. So let's talk a little bit about 612. Let's talk about this class. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be involved in the discussion, so you still have the same requirement to have an initial post and 2 response posts, but feel free to respond to my post as one of your 2 requirements. So you can respond to 2 of your other students, or you can respond to me as well, and both of them will count. I want to encourage you, as you get started, to read the announcement. This particular class is a little bit different in your course project. Now, in the course project and some of the other courses that you've had in this degree program, you have 3 parts. You have an outline, you have part 2, and then you have part 3. Well, in this particular course, you're going to be submitting your course project work each week. And so you're going to have a submission that will be a part of your course project each week. So lesson 1 has a part, lesson 2 has a part, lesson 3 has a part. And what you're going to be doing is creating a strategic plan for a company of your choice. And you're going to be creating this strategic plan using a format that you're going to read about in one of the textbooks, one of the ebooks that you have. And it's in the ebook, I think, Strategic Management in Action. And so you're going to be using that particular format to develop your strategic plans. Strategic plans are incredibly important. All companies that I've ever been a part of have done them. Now, whether or not they just actually do them, publish them, and then set them on the shelf and forget about them, that's up to the company. But obviously, a strategic plan that's never implemented will never be successful, right? And so what you will be doing is you'll be taking different elements of this strategic plan and working on them each week. And so, for example, the first week you're going to be looking at your company, looking at the mission and the goals of the company. The next week you'll be looking at the external environment, the next week the internal environment, you'll be doing a SWOT analysis, you'll be looking at many different options, and so on and so on and so on as you're building this plan. And so, again, this is not a series of independent exercises as much as these little independent exercises will create one big strategic plan. You just happen to be working on them each week. Same type of philosophy is I'll be able to give you my thoughts, my ideas. You can correct those as you go each week, so that by the time you get to week 7, you'll have a full strategic plan for that company. And I will have already seen 6 of your submissions for that. And so I would encourage you to take a look at that. Lesson 1, the way that these are going to be structured, you're going to have one discussion question each week. You're going to have one application exercise each week that will take a principle, many times off the videos that I've posted for you, that you'll be able to demonstrate application for that particular concept. And then you'll have a submission for your course project. So that is every week. Discussion board, application exercise, and submission for that particular week of the course project. Now, lesson 1 is kind of unique in that you may think it's kind of overkill, but hear me out on this one. You'll have a discussion question, which is just an introduction. You introduce yourself to people who probably already know you. But then the application exercise, I really want you to just to go in and begin to get used to the strategic plan format structure that we're going to be using. So I direct you to the strategic management book, where it talks about the strategic plan, and what I want you to do is just to give me some general ideas that you understand what the importance is of strategic plans and so on and so on. It may seem like that the application and the course project for lesson 1 may be a little redundant. Well, it is to the extent that you're talking about strategic plans, but the strategic plan application part is much more general. I want you to understand the general concepts that we're trying to get across as we build a strategic plan. And then the first part for your strategic plan that you'll be submitting is actually identifying the company that you're going to select, talking about their mission and goals, and so on. Now, what I've provided for you under Course Home is it's a course project overview, and it's a document that has each lesson each week and each of the requirements for each week. And so that's where you'll look at those instructions. Now, I've also provided for you an outline that shows how this could potentially look if you put all of them together. Again, it doesn't have the details under the outline. That's what you're going to be working on. But it gives you an idea of what's due in each class and how you can pull all these pieces together to build this strategic plan over the next few weeks. I would encourage you